You're really young. All right, this is my interview for Adolescent World Class. This is Austin Pettigrew. We went to high school together. He's the band director at Palmetto High School. How many years have you been here?
This is my 6th year here.
Okay, and then next year he'll actually be at one of the high schools in our town, West Side. So he has been in the school system for quite a while, obviously with go through student teaching through college and the such. And so he is my person I'll be interviewing for this example. So basically, Palmetto, right off the bat, what is the breakdown like diversity and demographics?
We have a strong representation of Caucasian students here. We actually, looking over some of the information that Patrick provided me pre-coming to this situation, we have 84% Caucasian, 9% Hispanic, and 5% African American.
Okay.
So our whole district is similar to that. We are the heaviest weighted on the Caucasian side, obviously. That could be, there's a lot of factors that affect that as far as the area. We live in a lot more rural area. There used to be a lot of manufacturing plants, like the Gerber plant, for example, used to be around here, and a lot of those families just stayed around, if that makes sense.
Do you see the same breakdown in that diversity even within the band?
Yeah, actually, if there's any, I guess you could say anything that throws off or any outliers that would throw off those statistics, it would be that I have a lot more of a Hispanic presence in the band than what the school has. For example, I would probably say 20 to 30% of my band is Hispanic students, so which is fun. And I would imagine that probably the Hispanic culture probably blends into like the whole musical thing. I know with like me being in Costa Rica with like mission trips and then other things, I know like Hispanic culture in a large part. Yeah, it's tough to say. A lot of my Hispanic students are in our color guard here, which if you're not familiar with marching band, that is a huge aspect of that. And the students do participate in winter guard and stuff like that year round. The actual concert band breakdown, you would say it's probably representative of what the diversity statistics are for the school. But like I said, when you look at the full group, which we're known publicly by the marching band because it's the most active. Yeah. We do possess a more active Hispanic culture than the school actually has if you do the sample versus population rate.
Okay. Do you see cliques forming within your band?
I didn't so much my first couple of years. They really didn't start to, I guess you could say, form until we started to get larger.
Yeah.
Once the larger groups started to appear, which was probably about my 3rd or 4th year, students had a lot more approach on the group and more focused on their sections.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which is
like a natural.
Yeah, really. Like when we were in band. Back in
drum line stays together. Trumpet
exactly.
line. Yeah.
So it's not. I don't want to say it's not a damaging clique because there can be drama that accrues from that type of gathering, but it's also like what you're saying. It's natural. You're gonna hang out with the guys you practice with.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
which isn't a bad thing either. It forces you into that thing. So, have you ever observed what would be considered a drug deal?
No, Palmetto has. Well, take a step back. The area of Palmetto now, which is the Williamston, Pelzer, West Pelzer area, and I'm not from this area per se. I grew up in Anderson with Patrick here, but from what I've heard, as those plants started to shut down in the late, I guess you could say, to sound old, the late 20th century. More families fell into depression, which you guys know statistically, more depression or more poverty is going to increase the drug use. And as that naturally occurred, some areas around the school are known for being drug areas. And some of that comes into the school, but not as much as you would think. We may have a handful of drug problems, I guess you could say, here, and they're not even really problems, just isolated incidents. I guess that's the better way to say it. Like a kid brings pot to school and gets flagged by the drug dog, stuff like that. Nowhere close to where you would find like if the Hannah or West Side, which is almost a daily thing. Kind of, I guess you could say, and technically by definition it could be considered a drug. The biggest problem we have around here, which again comes from the environment, not the environment, but the society around us, that rural area, is the use of tobacco.
Yeah.
We have kids, there's probably over 100, 150 kids, maybe even maybe 200 kids that probably have dip in their book bag right now.
Yeah, that's just a cultural thing.
Yeah, it's a culture thing. Not necessarily, you don't say, like, you can't write it off to, oh, that's just those kids.
Yeah,
kids. But yeah, it's that has been an issue. More so because of what the kids do with the tobacco cans when they're done with them. Some of them flush them down the toilets. Well, that's going to cause the toilets to back up.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, that's our biggest issue as far as the drug type thing. In the entire time I've been here, we've had maybe 2 or 3 alcohol incidents. Maybe we're talking over a 6-year period. Maybe 15 marijuana type experiences or stuff like that. But we may need to be interviewed. My principal's coming in here right now. If you want to stop it real fast.
Okay. All right, now we're back. I guess as we were talking about the drug use, a question kind of popped in my mind. With it being rural, and it being kind of out in the country as compared to where we grew up in Anderson, the county, do you see a lot of like guns? Like, are there ever any violations for kids having firearms? Not like pistols. I guess in my mind, I would think like hunting rifles or something. Like, kids not even thinking about it.
Well, I'm trying to think. I think there's been 1 or 2 incidents with having something like that. Having something like that in there, and I'm not digging one out. I'm just checking. 1 or 2 incidents of that. Now, we had a couple of incidents which you could think of as kids carrying like pocket knives.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And they're very strict on how they follow the protocol just because we do have a discipline plan and it's important to follow that. We have had a student who in the near future, within like the past couple of months, brought a... They said it was a BB gun, but it was like a BB gun that looked like a real gun. If that's what makes sense. Yeah, exactly right. So they handled that very seriously. SRO acted as if it was an active shooter type thing. Now it was handled in a way that the school wasn't really affected by it. It was very internal because somebody told them what was going on. They went and took care of it before. Yeah.
So it wasn't like a lockdown situation.
Yeah. It wasn't a lockdown situation. Very, very kind of covert, I guess is what you could say.
So I guess, kind of hitting tobacco, like what would you say is the biggest problem that you see or that you face? And it may not be drugs or violence. Like, what, I guess specifically when it comes to the teenagers, and like what is the biggest issue that you face?
This is that's kind of an interesting question to really ask. There's 2 aspects to look at it. In some respects, in my experience, the biggest thing that affects the kids, as far as even their attitude is, this is common sense stuff if you're asking a teacher, but it's going to be the parent.
Oh yeah. That's even in ministry.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny. Like, I had a kid last year, just a high school girl arguing with other high school girls. As a teacher, I see that as, okay, they're being high school girls. They're not always going to get along. Well, Dad told girl, if you don't like what she's saying, punch her in the face. And I'm like, you're supposed to be a parent.
Yeah.
And this is how you're handling it. I was like, because I told the dad and I told the kid, I said, if you do that, I said, that's your right. I said, but they're going to put you in jail.
Yeah, absolutely. Assault.
And yeah, exactly. And that's what I told him. I said, this is how I would handle it.
Yeah.
Either if you feel like you can't work it out, just do your best just to avoid each other. You don't want to say don't talk to your friends or anything.
Yeah,
but if it's irreconcilable, don't put yourself in a position where you get there. Don't go out there with aggression.
With the intent of punching someone in the face.
For you and me, when you talk about it, it's just common sense. And you think of the adult, okay, a kid, they don't know how to handle everything. They may handle things physically. It's like when you see the toddlers on a playground. They don't know what to do. They push each other down.
That's why adults are here to guide.
Yeah, exactly. But whenever you have the adult kind of being a deterrent factor to the kid progressing in a societal manner, what are you going to do? And that's a battle. You'd think if you're in school, why am I fighting this battle against the parents when we're supposed to be as a team? Why am I raising your kid?
Well, I think it's honestly a good part, I guess, to wrap up too, as we're getting close to the 10-minute mark. I think because the school and even the church, they're always going to be microcosms of the family. Like that's where I think you're gonna see a lot of issues stemming from that family relationship.
Well, and just to finish up, because you're really short on time, and this is just something you could throw out there. Is there something called the hidden curriculum, which you may have heard of in ministry or not, but it's basically not the math, not the science, not the English, all that stuff. It's basically how can I teach you to be a good societal member?
Yep.
And that's just a lot of stuff we have to deal with.
Yeah. Well, even in psychology, we learned that, and my teacher being a 4-year-old kindergarten teacher, most of them they look at this, society or social skills. So, thank you, Austin.
Thank you.